and welcome to Baking with Beth. I'm going to show you how to make the perfect festive cupcake, or just the perfect cupcake in general. Okay, so to start out, I'm going to say that Pillsbury is my favorite brand, but you can use Betty Crocker if that is what you prefer. I absolutely do not recommend Duncan Hines, and I'll tell you why. First, they smell old. It has a kind of mothballish smell and taste to it, and they're very dry. To me, I feel like it gives you a very dry taste, and the cupcakes come out very flat, and you don't really want that. This is kind of my song, okay? But I'm gonna stop this so I can focus. Okay. So we're gonna start out. Usually I would say just, pour it out of the box. My mom wants to be cute and make me put it in here. So the ingredients that you need is 1 box, 3 eggs. You're going to need mitts so you don't burn your pretty little hands. You're going to need some icing. And I like to get the funfetti kind to match the cupcake mix. They usually have, well, because it's almost Christmas, I got the red kind, but they usually have green too. They didn't have that kind this time. And usually when you get the funfetti, they have the sprinkles at the top. That's my favorite. I love sprinkles. You're going to need cupcake liners. I like this kind because it matches the sprinkles, and it says yay, and further down they have ones that say holiday, and it's the holiday season. Holiday season. Woo-dee-doo. Okay, that's the song if you don't know. Gonna need water and oil. They don't really tell you what kind of oil to use, but when I'm baking cakes or cupcakes or brownies, I like to use vegetable oil. That's my favorite kind of oil to use. But if you don't have vegetable oil, another really good oil to use is canola oil. But I really would like you to use vegetable oil because that gives you the best results. You will need a cupcake pan and measuring cups and a butter knife and Ziploc bags. And a mixer, and a spatula. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. First, we're going to dump out the whole container of this, which is just 1 box of cupcake mix. Just gonna dump it out into the mixing bowl. I know I'm fortunate enough to have a table mixer. This is mine, and then my mom has one, but everybody doesn't have one. So if you don't have a table mixer, you can also use a hand mixer. And if you don't have a hand mixer, or you just like to do things the old-fashioned way, you can just use your arm, and you can get a lot of muscles that way. But the only thing I will say, if you're going to use like your hand, that you need to have a whisk, because when you're using anytime you're baking, the flour or the mix, it will be lumpy, and so you don't want to just mix all your ingredients without mixing the mix first, like getting all the lumps out, because if you do, then your cupcakes will bake, and then when you bite in the cupcake, you'll bite into flour or you'll bite into mix, and you don't want that. So make sure you whisk, or you get a sifter, and a sifter is kind of just a metal thing, and it has like a little thingamajig, and you squeeze it, and it will sift the flour through it, and it'll get all the lumps out of your flour or your cupcake mix. So since I'm using the table mixer, I don't have to do that, because on the table mixer there's a little piece on the side, and it says stir, and when I press that button, it will mix the cupcake mix for me. So now I'm going to crack my eggs. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you how much oil. Okay, and so I know this is like the back of my hand because I'm always making cupcakes for my grandma. Literally at every event I have with her, I'm making cupcakes for her. So we're gonna use a half a cup of vegetable oil, and then we're going to use a whole cup of water. So you don't have to get like another cup. You can just use a half a cup twice, so you're not dirtying any more dishes. And if you double this recipe because you're trying to make double the amount, just know that you will use an entire cup of vegetable oil, 2 cups of water, and instead of you using 6 eggs, you will only use 5 because 5 eggs will make your cupcakes light and fluffy, and 6 eggs will kind of make them kind of heavy. Okay, now I am going to put my mixer, I'm going to lock it first because that's important. Can you come a little closer? I'm going to lock the mixer, and then I'm going to turn it. This is the part where I put it on stir, and I'm going to put it on stir for 30 seconds. Usually I would put it on a timer, but I'm just going to count to 30 in my head. So, and I'm just going to open the cupcake liners right now. While I'm doing that. Okay, now we unlock the mixer, and even if you're hand mixing or if you're just mixing it with your hand, after you stir the mixture for the 30 seconds, you want to take your spatula and, can you look in there? Take your spatula and mix all the way at the bottom. You see how the mixture is, there's still like floury at the bottom? You want to take the spatula and mix all the way in there because you don't want any cake mix to be still dry. Okay. And now I'm gonna lock it back, and I'm gonna just set my timer for 2 minutes because that's how long it's gonna stir this time. And this time we're gonna put the mixer on the setting of 4, and it's gonna stay on 4 for 2 minutes. And while it's stirring, I'm just gonna fill the cupcake pan. This is my favorite part, and my sister's favorite part, because now they're about to get the opportunity to mix, to lick the bowl. This is their favorite part. It used to be my favorite part as a child too. And I kind of grew out of it, I guess. Time we have left is a minute left.